has too tall of a mountain here for CBSL to do anything against, and they get it. This is going to be the ace, a clean swipe.
There's an angel, George fighting in the bar, Andre goes down, redemption, a bit too late, what's gonna happen? Gabe has no for Scarlet, even as his first.
Daigo is jumping in, he's in the middle of the fray. Here comes the tidal wave, jumping in and jumping out. Daigo sticking really good.
Back for the Twitch, but not gonna do much. Nard is just going to be a buy one, take one deal for JBL. They have
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You are still watching Day 2 of the Lenovo LoL Collegiate League 2017 Spring Term Interconference Series. And we just finished our first match for Group C today, which was UPLB versus UXU. And that was a clean sweep coming from UPLB, but now we're going to move on to our second match. Of course, we are your shoutcasters. I'm Atlas, and with me is Arctic. And we're going to get into Technological Institute of the Philippines, Anime Holics versus John B. Lacson Maritime University's Maroon Dragons.
Yes, wow, this is going to be very interesting, especially since this is going to be the third seed coming from Metro East against the number one seed from Visayas. There you go.
It's going to be Visayas versus Metro East, but okay, of course, don't let the seedings deceive you.
Definitely.
Because a lot of our the Metro Manila teams, they are quite powerful on their own, but of course, JBL, definitely a contender.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they're really strong.
Especially since, I mean, sure, we could say that Visayas and Mindanao, there's a difference. But anyways, before we get into that, let's go into the pick and ban, as we see here on your screens, ladies and gents, between TIP and JBL. First ban is going to be the Renekton. Wow, actually.
Lots of respect here against Renekton for Shy here against JBL. There's going to be a Shan ban out against TIP, and it's going to be Twitch ban out. Jeez has been known to really pull out Twitch a few times, really proficient on that champion. The Ivern, pretty standard. What do you think of the other bans coming in here with Lee Sin?
Wow, there's definitely a lot of respect. I mean, because definitely, if you're going to look at these two teams, as far as who I'd peg are really strong, the respect bans definitely make sense. I mean, well, I guess Renekton in itself is pretty OP. And then the Twitch, Jeez is actually one of the stars, I'd say, for JBL. And then Lee Sin, definitely respect for Farmville. And then the Shen and Ivern, I'm actually surprised that Ivern is being banned out here, perhaps as a precaution, because I don't believe we've actually seen Meow use as much Ivern in the LCL. So definitely, probably something that they foresee would actually disrupt their composition, whatever that they plan on going for. And no surprise, Saya as well.
Yeah, Saya, definitely good ban. When you're banning the Vastaya, you have to ban one or the other, because banning them, using two bans on them is way too costly. And really, I think JBL, because they have more confidence against that Rakan. If HO will pick it up, they will be prepared for it. First pick from TIP will be the Lulu. I think it's a very good first pick.
Very standard, and we have seen that in the previous games. Lulu was a top priority ban, if not probably one of the most banned champions in the Interconference series so far. So TIP going to take that for themselves, and I believe Akasha is actually a pretty efficient Lulu user himself.
And that's going to be because half of the bot lane, possibly for Technological Institute of the Philippines, revealed JBL will bring out their own. That's going to be the Karma and Illusion there in the bot lane for G's and Demigod. It's going to be a very fast-paced bot lane there. Lots of utility, lots of shields, very fast-paced with the damage and the speed boost as well. So we're going to see how TIP just responds to that.
Yeah, and I highly doubt that. Sure, you could flex the Karma mid, but I mean, given the fact that they've already revealed their support, I'm pretty sure that, just for the safety that they don't reveal too much, they go for their own support as well along with the AD carry.
Seems like it's going to be Do and Meow. The second pick and third pick here for TIP. That will be the Graves for Meow. And the Do here, Tario 1 here will be going with that Gragas. On the other hand, is JBL picking that Kha'Zix from Farmville.
Exactly. And yeah, I'm actually surprised that TIP actually revealing their jungle and top, or maybe, well, I guess then again it makes sense because Graves is actually a top priority in a way. They definitely don't want Farmville to get that. And Gragas as well, so I mean they had the potential to make this a flex pick if they just revealed the Gragas first, but then again there is a lot of emphasis on that Graves, so I'm not surprised either. It's a risk very much well taken.
So both of our teams banning out some mid laners here. The Vladimir and the Rise against Owl, and it's going to be LeBlanc against Doe, with Cute getting a respect back against him with a Draven.
You know, we actually do know, Cute has been an excellent Draven, actually, not only for this recent split, but even last split, like he was very dominant on that pick. So huge respect ban right there, although that does leave Cute a lot more options. You know, he does have his Ashe. He has the Ezreal, which he did really well with during the tie-breaking CDSL game. So we'll just see what he opts for, although Laudel is going to be locked in, of course, for Shai or JBL right there.
Already a very solid front line just from that Nautilus. Let's see how TIP will respond to that. Seems like a utility AD carry will be the pickup here with that Ashe. Very potent level 6 spike with that Lulu. It's going to be the Ahri for Doe here. Alternative AP assassin there for that mid lane. So we're going to see how JBL's last pick will respond to that. What is open is still their mid laner.
Indeed. I'm actually liking TIP's composition.
Oh, so it might be the... Oh, so it's going to be the mid Karma here with the support Thresh. That's going to be so much utility here for Shai, and a very solid front line as well.
Really good flex pick move by JBL. But yeah, let's go ahead and look
G's,
at
right?
the... Oh, for... Yeah. There we go. For... Okay. There we... Okay, we're still waiting for the swap top. Yeah, that's going to be a Lucian for G's. And then a mid Karma for Owl. So looking at the compositions here, I really like actually how TIP has drafted. There's definitely somewhat of a balance. They have a good level of engage, disengage, you know, just almost the complete package you'd expect in a composition.
They can go for pickoffs as well with the burst that they have. While JBL, it seems like they're really banking everything on G's here.
Exactly, and that's actually a good move to make. I mean, aside from G's himself being who I'd consider almost the MVP for JBL, at the same time, TIP as well. As far as their own MVP as well, it definitely lies on Cute, so it's actually a pretty good matchup here. And I like how JBL is emphasizing a lot on this solution, just so that if they could get an early shutdown on Cute, then TIP would actually have a hard time getting things going.
So it's going to be the bot lane here, kind of the focus for this game. But of course, it's still going to be up to Mayao and Farmville. The junglers, this is a very jungle-centric meta. The mid lane also has a lot to do with it. So I think Mayao and Do need to work together. If they can work together, they can roam top, or they can roam bot, which might be more effective because their stars are there in the bot lane.
Definitely.
So yeah, if the mid lane and jungle get ahead, it's going to be so hard for all other lanes because that's going to be a roaming party, roaming duo right there to really let the other lane snowball along with them.
Yeah, I feel like in this case, Meow definitely has his work cut out for him. I feel like if we're going to look at the two bot lanes, the side that actually needs much more jungle presence, I'd say is definitely TIP, because G's and Demigod, Lucian and Braum, like,
Oh man.
it's pretty classic that you'd expect, where in Lucian with the passive, Braum with the passive, there's such great synergy to get that stun right off the bat.
It's
So-
easily all in.
Exactly. So definitely expecting G's and Demigod to just go full on aggressive right off the bat during the early phases of the game.
They can deny a lot of damage, and more importantly, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow with the Unbreakable as well. So that's going to be the level 6 spike of TIP might be denied with a well-timed Unbreakable. And if Farmville can actually get a lot of pressure out as that Kha'Zix and just continue jumping around when it comes to these mid-game skirmishes. So I'm really liking JBL's composition here. Yes, you can say that it's a protected AD carry comp, but they do have that factor of Farmville as well. When everyone's too focused on taking down G's, they will have Farmville to really slash down these interlopers. On the other hand, TIP, yes, they do have a very balanced composition all around, lots of utility, engage and disengage. So coming into it though, what predictions do you have to make on how their win conditions will be?
Wow, you know, I mean, if you're gonna look at the two compositions, they're somewhat-ish similar. It's just that I feel like JBL has a lot more utility up their sleeve just because they have that Nautilus. They have well-rounded utility. They have the AP damage from the Karma, and then if not needed the AP damage, then Karma with the shield is actually a huge factor for the Kha'Zix and the Lucian in case TIP does decide to focus on any one of them. I mean, think about it. You have the Lulu, sure, you have the ultimate along with the shield, but what's that in comparison to a massive shield for the whole team for JBL right here? But yeah, before anything else, of course, we also have our search and win winners from earlier. So yeah, of course, the first question earlier was who got first blood between the game for UPLB and Xavier University. Of course, that was XU Kathy.
On that board.
Yes, wow, that's actually pretty surprising. Support getting the kill
Yeah,
right
the
there.
Ignite was a really big factor. So,
Oh yeah,
of
definitely.
course, the winner for that is Christian Cuadra Casala. You will be getting that mystery gift in a few working days. As for a second question,
Yes, the second question was, what was the second Drake taken during that game? And that was the Ocean Drake. Yes.
of course, there were like 3 Ocean Drakes that
Yeah.
game. All of the Drakes were Ocean Drake.
Very watery. Yeah, anyways, congratulations once again to our search and win winners. But before we get into the action between TIP and JB Laxon, we are going to be having a message from our sponsors. So stay put.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.
So, of course, we have loaded onto the Rift for Game 1 of Match 2 for the Interconference Series of Group C's Game 3 for today. Technological Institute of the Philippines versus John B. Lacson Maritime University. And let's look at the Rift as our teams are walking out for maybe Invade getting these deep visions in.
Yeah, both teams actually grouped up together. But of course, before we get deep into this game, congratulations, of course, to the second winner from our search and win earlier, Jonathan David Satua, the one who answered the Ocean Drake question correctly.
Seems like they will be putting down this vision in the blue side jungle of TIP. A few pings here, but seems like JBL is none the wiser. Oh, Tario one does reveal with a barrel roll.
Good premonition, good instinct there by Tario to actually use that cask to spot out JBL. Because like if he went straight into that, that would have been a very easy first blood for JBL right there.
With the snares, with the slows and bursts as well coming from the team. But that is information gained by TIP. But of course, Graves usually they start there in the red side with those Raptors. Very easy level 2 coming from that camp.
And good on TIP actually, spotting out JBL, knowing that they were on the blue side of their own jungle. They immediately went for offensive wards within JBL's jungle, so they're easily going to be able to spot out Farmville, going to be starting off this blue buff.
There's going to be bot lane, bot side starts for both of these junglers, with a blue buff being taken by Farmville. Ooh, Owl. Actually taking away 1. That won't be enough to stop Meow from getting level 2 though.
Indeed.
He will still get level 2 after this Raptor camp.
Look at Meow juggling this Raptor count right there, as expected of a grade.
Very nice. With a very nice leash as well, with that Orb of Deception means that it's going to be more health for Meow. And of course, he does still get that level 2. That's only 1 small Raptor taken away, which is not enough to deny the level 2. And already, TIP getting so much damage against this JBL bot lane.
Wow, actually, I was actually expecting somewhat the opposite, wherein it would actually be Cheese and Demigod getting things started with the trades, but looks like Cute and Akasha actually did a great job at getting G's to a substantially low amount of health.
Yeah, maybe level 2 they have an advantage, but level 1, the range and the poke coming from this bot lane duo of TIP means that JBL is going to get pushed into their turret level 1.
Yes, indeed. And it looks like trades are just happening right off the bat. We see a lot of health bars actually being depleted as far as the early phases, like top, mid lane, bot lane. It's just happening all so fast. And given how both sides are playing out this game, I wouldn't actually be surprised if we have an earlier first blood in comparison to our previous games, where it takes about 10 minutes later on. So yeah, we'll just see how this plays out. It all depends, of course, on how Meow and Farmville will be transitioning into these ganks for the first few minutes of the game.
They might transition either to the mid lane or the top lane with how they are positioned in the map right now. But seems like, yep, that's going to be Farmville spotted out by the Seer's Orb plant there, which means that that's a lot of information actually gained.
There we go. That's the Sun I'm talking about. Getting so much damage on Akasha, but Cute gonna go on a retaliation barrage of his own. And still, yeah, both G's and Demigod in quite a sticky situation with such low health bars.
And they have to pop their potions there, get some health back up. Of course, they do have the Relic Shield, a little bit of health sustain for them, which will be very helpful, but being pushed into this tower means that there's a small CS lead on the side of TIP.
And the tricky part is that, if you're going to notice, G's actually went for the longsword as opposed to a Torrent. So as a result, you know, there's a kind of a... Maybe he was actually thinking that he could go head-to-head with Cute. But in the end, you know, it would have been actually ideal if he had that extra lifesteal and health to boot, you know, just so that he'd have a little bit more staying power in this lane. But with virtually no potions whatsoever, this might actually be trickier for him trading.
Yeah, because of all that poke coming from Cute and Akasha, it means that he burnt all 3 potions, biscuits actually, in that lane, which means that TIP actually gained a lot more value. He hasn't, Cute hasn't used his own potion yet, so that means that TIP is going to stay in the lane a little bit longer than Cute will.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And yeah, so far, everything else. It's actually interesting here in this top lane. There's somewhat of a CS difference, although then again, Shy actually already went on his first back, gonna get that second Doran's ring, but here's Farmville actually lingering around.
He will come from behind here. Meow is around the area, but might be too late. It's going to be them focusing onto these bot laners here. That's going to be Cute. So much burst onto him, but it might not be enough. That's going to be the Void Spikes taking him away, but Farmville is so low in health as well, and G's has to rotate away. The teleport will come, but a little bit too late. Will Owl be able? He's very fast here. Gets the kill onto Meow. Now it's Akasha going to be the focus here. He has the shield to keep himself alive, and Demigod survives that fight with a sliver of health.
Definitely 2-0-4-2. Not really in favor of anyone, but if I had to peg it on anybody, a lot was definitely much more exerted from JBL here. Like, Karma actually both summoners down, like a lot of summoners down all across the board for JBL, while as opposed to TIP, yeah, sure, it's just Cute and Akasha, but definitely reduces the responses within the next few minutes from Owl with that teleport now off the board for a few minutes.
And Meow dying there wasn't too debilitating, because the only camp that he lost, that was available to him, was a Raptor camp. So even if he died there, not a lot of resources and time lost as a jungler. But of course, it's still going to be a kill to both junglers after that fight. So they're going to scale up a lot faster with their damage.
Yeah, look at this. Tari and Shy juking it out again, both actually with the Doran's ring. So, you know, a little extra ability power doesn't hurt anybody. And considering that their attacks, that extra health doesn't, it's an extra bonus.
Plus the mana sustain as well, so they can continue in the lane. And Tarya, with his natural sustain in terms of his resources, means that those 2 Doran's rings, the more he kills these units, the more he gets his CS, he'll just get that mana back up. Actually, both of them with the Doran's ring. It is not a unique passive. The mana regain from CS is not a unique passive, so having 2 of those will let them stay in the lane far longer.
Yeah, that 10 extra mana boost per CS is actually pretty darn nifty for both the Gragasons and Autos. Although, looking at Tarya, though, it's pretty low on mana right now in comparison to Shy. It looks like Farmville and Meow actually spotting out each other. More information for both sides.
So this is going to be bot side for both TIP. But of course, JBL should know that TIP has cleared their entirety of their bot lane jungle. So now Meow has to rotate up there to get his gold and XP, which means that Farmville now is kind of free to try and go for a gank here in bot lane, but has to recall instead.
Indeed, here we go. Cute getting a little bit onto G. He's not quite standing into it, but
They're
yes,
going for it.
There we go.
This is the Frostbite, actually. So that's not a lot gained for both sides, but it does reveal to TIP that the Farmville is still there in the bot side.
Yeah, and even with the Farmville, with the response from Farmville right there, still G's and Demigod took a substantial amount of damage as a result. So it'll be actually very interesting. And Cute now at level 6, actually with access to his Enchanted Crystal Arrow right now, gonna make the spot lane a little bit more deadly here.
Gonna have to relentless pursuit out of that arrow. And if Demigod had hit the Frostbite, it could have been a kill against Cute. The heal was down, and then Akasha was not level 6 yet, so it could have been a kill onto them, but unfortunately for JBL, it did miss.
Yes, indeed. So here we go. Everything else just, as we can see, let's see, where's Meow actually? He's actually still towards the bot, taking those Kirks right there. So we'll just have to see how maybe this could translate to bot lane, but then again, it's a little bit too pushed. So we shall see how this goes for the bot. But then again, Farmville here, I'm actually expecting, oh, there we go, actually, there's Meow. So actually lingering towards the bot lane, potentially might be going.
They could go for a dive here, but there is a ward there, so Meow has to recall out. Might be too risky to dive that. It is a Braum. You do not want to dive a Braum who has exhaust and might even reach level 6 very soon.
I actually like the confidence coming from TIP because of that deep ward towards the wolf camp of JBL. They actually kind of have that information that Farmville transitioned to the red side, which is why we're seeing a little bit more of a push from them earlier. So yeah, let's go ahead and see how this is going for Tarya and Shy, though. Things are quite silent right there, but yeah, again, as we did anticipate, there's definitely a lot more emphasis on the bot side. Farmville actually having gone for a second attempt, although it didn't quite work there, but still, yes, this is somewhat what we've been expecting.
So yeah, just constant, very peaceful game here. A few gank attempts, but not really any blood spilled just yet. Game is very even, 2-2. The gold is almost exactly even as well. The difference could be like a potion or something, but really not a lot to make a difference. At this pace of the game, okay, that might be an engage coming here from the mid lane, but Owl will snare down Doe here. That's a lot of damage against Dow, but there is going to be Meow at the sides to help if Owl goes for the all-in.
Yeah, and I don't think they're actually aware, but now with the with the plant actually being used to get some vision, they might have a little bit of idea as to who proc that, and that'll definitely be Meow in their eyes.
But after that engage is going to be Owl actually ahead there. He does have his shields. Ooh, Akasha will be the focus there. Lots of culling, but the Winter's Bite not being able to finish the passive for Braum.
Indeed. And Akasha, of course, will survive yet another day, although it definitely gives a little bit more of an advantage. Then again, Demigod's ult is down right now, and a lot of options still for Akasha.
Oh, Farmville going in right there just to apply some pressure, scare TIP off of that river. They want to establish some semblance of vision control here. But right now, the game's still a bit slow-paced. The gold leads are the gold difference is minimal. Do you think that both teams want this kind of pace, or would JBL or TIP want it to go faster?
Well, that's interesting, actually. As far as who I'd expect to exert some level of aggression within the early phases, definitely JBL. And we have seen some attempts, actually. It's just that they haven't really translated to kills, except for that first one, maybe with the 2-2.
It might be a kill soon here. Oh, Akasha. That's going to be the focus on the gank here. Lots of bursts onto him, but that's going to be Farmville taking him out, tasting his fear. Cute might get dove here. Demigod will be tanking, but since Meow here, oh, that's going to be Farmville stunned out. Lots of damage coming from the turret, and that's going to be teleport from Owl cancelled here with Demigod and G's. It's going to be a 1-for-1 in the end. Akasha for Farmville. And the top lane is going to be quite a fight here for the top lane, but of course they're both very tanky. Doran's rings all around, so not really going to be a kill translated there.
Exactly, just a farm fest all day. If anything, this is the Farmville right here happening in the top lane. Just farm all day between Gragas and Nautilus respectively. But yeah, still, as far as the trade earlier, I mean, a support for a jungler, definitely a good for TIP.
Yeah, and Farmville really overcommitted there against Cute. Believed too much in his burst, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow was available, which means that dive would never have gone well for Farmville.
Actually like Meow's decision making in that, because he had two options. He could have helped out Cute, which there was a chance that since he was already tower diving, was already going to die. Or he could have been a little bit more greedy to pursue the double members of JBL who were actually starting to retreat. But then again, there was such restraint, and at the end of the day, with all said and done, when Meow helped Cute out, he actually didn't have mono lamp, so good decision making from Meow.
But yeah, that's still going to be Farmville overcommitting there. It's going to be the Conqueror Karma recall.
Interesting.
Yep, that's going to be from blue to red. Karma new aesthetic. And that's going to be from blue team taking the red Drake, the Infernal Drake here. If they can take this, Meow is taking this quite well, but a teleport coming from Shy will be matched by Tarja, scaring off Meow from that objective. And now this might be the steal from JBL.
Perhaps, as members of JBL actually starting to converge onto here with Farmville actually now within the vicinity, so might actually get dirty for TIP.
Oh, Meow. That's going to be a Meow to focus here. Loss of CC onto him. Now it's Akasha. Look at that damage coming from the team. JBL takes out two members of TIP here. It seems like they also get the Infernal Drake on top of that.
And there we go. Actually, Tarja trying to make some type of trade here by pushing at that top lane, but not quite enough. Will be clearing out this wave, though. I don't think he can clear it. I mean, that's a Gragas on triple Dorans now, actually.
A pretty decent clear, but the tower pushing itself is quite slow from him. He will just get a little bit of damage here. Might go to around 60% health or 50, but yeah. Gragas not really a super big tower pusher. It will be around 40 to 33%. Shy is a slow walker, just has the boost of speed, but it seems like it'll just be a reset here with G's a little more confidence in how he plays his lane. And look at Demigod taking away so much from the barrage of Kyut's arrows. Gonna be a good back timer for him, maybe to get that Lived Ruin King.
Indeed. And yeah, I mean, so far TIP, I'm actually surprised that they're not as careful. As far as what I'm seeing from JBL, it's pretty textbook. But from TIP, not being able to respond is actually even more surprising to me.
So
But no, look at Tarja. sneaky.
Tarja sneaky, and he does have a little bit of damage here against Shy. Shy would win in extended trades, but Tarja can just go in with a Drunken Rage, a barrel roll, body slam in, and then walk out.
There go Farmville actually within the area, but is going to be recalling instead. I'm not sure this will be good for him, though. And yeah, actually, Farmville continued the recall, so Tarja will be just fine, even if he committed to that 1v1.
It's going to be a long fight, though, between two tanks.
tanks.
And with both of them having Spectre's Cal, it might be too long, but that's going to be a good flash from Shy to dodge out the body slam. Could have been very dangerous if he was not able to time that correctly because Meow was right there.
Indeed. Very well played right there. That's some pretty nifty work with that flash. But yeah, nonetheless, still not translating to a kill.
So going for it. That's going to be Meow trying to take out Shy, but it's a very tanky Nautilus. Here comes Farmville. This might be very dangerous. Al is going to TP in as well. Tarja now to target Shy out of mana, but Farmville might still be on the pursuit. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, a little bit too late to the party. Does not hit anyone. The TP as well cancelled by Al, but this might be very dangerous for Do. If he sticks around, he will just retreat back to his base while JBL puts down some important vision in the jungle of TIP.
Yes, indeed. Farmville actually flexing some muscles here. Almost 100% kill participation thus far. Only missed out on just one of those kills. But yeah, he's actually doing a phenomenal job, really showing a lot of presence on this map. As opposed to Meow, a little bit lesser. Although he does attempt, but it hasn't been as fruitful as what Farmville hasn't been doing.
Ooh, Owl really knowing where Do will rotate to. Chunks him down a little bit. But that's going to be a few potions sticking for Do. He still has some his natural sustain from his passive. That might be the dive here for the bot lane. Might be too risky. Because G's taking a lot of those hits.
I mean, like, even Cute actually taking the full bulk of the culling right there. So, but yeah, nonetheless, still not even close to enough.
Yeah, will be too dangerous to dive that. Kasha with the Wild Growth and the Exhaust was present, so they're just going to come back to their lanes. But here comes Farmville, a little bit too dangerous positioning here. Gets chunked down. Will they go in again? Cute has no more mana. Seems like they will try to go for it. It's going to be Wild Growth onto Meow for that slow field and an extra bit of health. But Al is here, flashes over the wall. Grand entrance to more Soul Flares here now. Akasha, very squishy support, even with and Do a little bit too ambitious there and away from the team, so Farmville can just easily take that out. The Ignite is on Farmville. It will be enough to actually take him out, but the dive coming from JBL is still going on. Al doing his best. Actually, a lot of HP tank there by his shield, and just standing barely outside of turret range so he can attack better.
Indeed, JBL coming up on top now, 4 and 10 on the scoreboard with a 3,000 gold deficit, and it might only get bigger considering how JBL has been playing. There's definitely a lot more consistency, a lot more strength in the responses that we've been seeing thus far. But there goes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow Sword flying.
Yeah, but that's not going to be enough to take out Demigod. That's going to be more gold on the side of JBL. And let's look at the replay of how all that happened.
This was pretty crazy for TIP right here. So we actually have JBL going full on in on Akasha. They definitely know that they can take him out right away. Very, very squishy. And look at Mayao trying to defend what he can. But then again, a little bit too late for the party. A little bit too overconfident actually, and thinking that he could take down Demigod. Farmville as a result within range. Goes for the flash and jump. Gets the reset, but still very well played by JBL right there.
And the other 2 kills would just be easily taken by JBL with that dive. So that's actually a substantial gold lead for JBL at this point of the game. 18 minutes. That 4,000 could translate into an actual completed item for our players. So it's going to be... And Owl has been doing so much work here. 4-0-3 on that mid lane Karma, being able to deny so much from Do, because the shields are just way too big. The speed boost to just dodge out these charms as well. There's not... So Do is really having a hard time to assassinate this mid lane, and he can't roam as effectively as well. He doesn't have the ghost. He hasn't been really roaming except to bot lane, which bot lane has been losing very, very badly against G's and Demigod.
And looking at this right now, I'd say it's a mission accomplished actually for JBL, because like we mentioned, it's all about, like, later on, we're definitely going to see a lot of action from both AD carries. But because Owl is so ahead, there's so much protection that TIP's going to have such a hard time going into these 5v5s because of the lead that Owl basically because of the lead that Owl was able to establish. Not to mention he built Athene's along with the Ardent Center, just going to make it all the more harder to take down.
Spot him out. Yep. Farmville was spotted out there, not waiting for any pickoffs, just going straight for the red buff, actually allowing him to evolve his Taste Their Fear, his Q. So isolated targets will be very, very hard pressed to escape from this Kha'Zix. Of course, the turret is destroyed by TIP finally.
Commendations to Tarja, though. I mean, we've actually seen a lot more responses from Shy to Tarja, but in all fairness, at least he was able to take down the turret, while he in exchange actually has a very healthy turret, and that is going to be a Mount 3 taken by JBL, going to make them all the more solid in terms of their pushing away, especially with that Lucian, by the way.
Yeah, just get those light slingers out. It's going to be a fight here in the mid lane. Look at all those shields denying damage from the Orb of Deception against Do. So that's really one of the powers of having this mid lane Karma here. He even has the Ardent Sensor to just buff up G's completely when the skirmishes start coming out. And when he's 1v1ing, the Ardent Sensor, maybe that attack speed will help him a little teensy bit, but still, that's a very good itemization. They're really banking on G's carrying the game here, but Owl himself, 4-0-3, is no slouch in terms of damage, and even when he's building kind of supporty.
Indeed, and looking at Meow here, this is actually a very awkward situation for him. We have seen him, as far as the games where he thrives, it's when he's actually able to establish somewhat of an early game dominance, or at least some relevance. But now 1-4-2, he's actually you can tell that he's actually struggling to find his footing in this game, especially with Farmville just almost way ahead of him right now.
In itemization, they are both transitioning into that Black Cleaver, but Farmville a little bit ahead in terms of a little bit step ahead in terms of for completing that. Oh, that Akasha, that's very, very bad for him. The Wild Growth will keep him alive, but that's just one more shot for the Concussive Blows with proc, and that's going to be Farmville taking it away. What objectives will they get here? Owl trying to go for Kyut here, but that's going to be the Cavalry arriving against TIP. They might get a tower dive here. Look at all the damage coming from G's, and Owl is just going to keep helping his team dive with so many inspiration shields, and that's going to be 4 kills actually, plus it's going to be a turret for them. Owl might be in danger here, but he does have the shield. Tarja a little bit too ambitious. Owl has a lot of survivability and consistent damage. I don't think it's right for him to continue going for that, but that's going to be the Baron play coming from JBL. Meow is going to be responding in 15 seconds, so they can freely take this with their Kha'Zix.
Indeed. JBL just skyrocketing, and TIP, again, this is where their innate weaknesses are coming from, where they find themselves in a situation where they're way behind. And although there have been instances where they have actually been able to come back, but this is one of those instances wherein I don't think they actually have the tools to do that with the composition that they have. And JBL, like I mentioned again, it's all about, if you're gonna look at the two, it's all about who gets their AD carry going, who has that extra utility, that extra front line to make sure that it works out for them. And JBL definitely on top of that.
And I haven't seen Tarja really do much with his teleport. Not able to pressure a lot to like deny these engages with explosive cast. Even in team fights where he can participate without using teleport, I haven't really seen very powerful explosive cast. Gotta be G's. Might be in danger here, but Fearless just ignoring Tarja. He has no damage, can just go straight for Akasha, but now he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. But Demigod is there to help him out. There's gonna be Doe going in, but it's gonna be Farmville chunking him down and scaring him away. Now that's going to be Enchanted Crystal Arrow sniping him out, but too late for the party. They have already taken what they wanted, plus more this turret.
Oh no, this is just going way too south for TIP so dang fast. And you know, JBL, I wouldn't be surprised. This might be a turret and even an inhibitor as a bonus, as 26 seconds still left for
They do have
Tarja.
that Baron, and they have that Light Slinger fed Lucian. It's going to be an easy inhibitor for them.
Indeed. 4 and 16 now. TIP, it's very, very tricky for them at this point. There's not really, as far as how they could potentially come back, they can't really go 5v5 right now without a doubt, because Owl is so ahead with the utility that he can grant. Look at what he built. Like I mentioned, the Athene, I'm such a fan of this Athenes and the Ardent Center together, because it just makes Karma so solid as a utility provider, and plus the damage that Owl has. So it's tricky that perhaps DIP can thrive in getting pickoffs, but considering how JBL is so grouped up right now, I don't think that's even possible at this moment.
And of course, that's going to be the link, the bit.ly link for our search and win this game. Open that tab off, type that link, and complete the form with all the information that is needed, plus answer the trivia question correctly. If you're the first to do it, you will get that mystery gift in 5 working days. And looking at it now, TIP's behind by 9,000 gold. And against an what do you call it, the protect the AD carry composition like JBL has, getting behind means that you can't outscale them, because the AD carry is just going to be so powerful and so oppressive. What now, TIP, what can they do to take this game back?
Wow, you know what? It's just so tricky at this point. Like I mentioned, as far as what they could only do, they could only try to withstand the aggression, especially since they still have Baron buff right now, so it's quite tricky. But there goes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, not quite connecting.
Yeah, this is really one of their tools to try and get back in the game, but it's going to be another team fight here. 5v5 already. That's going to be Akasha and Meow taken down, plus Tarja as well. So they're still going for this dive. Akasha gets called down. Good, now in trouble. It's going to be a very low mobility AD carry, but has to flash out. And this will actually be the mid lane turret in favor of JBL, and Shy, after regenerating, can just come back, teleport back, and be the front line for his team.
And with 3 members right now, they are going to be knocking quite fast. And I wouldn't be surprised. This may potentially be in the game if they're able to push this fast enough. But sure, 10 seconds on TIP, but JBL is just so ahead that even though with full health burst, I don't think TIP can even go up against it. But looks like JBL going to play the safe route, actually going to transition into this bot lane.
And Shy just ignoring that turret, tanking it for Demigod. And they're really making good use of this Baron buff. They have taken top lane inhibitor all the way to an inhibitor, and then destroyed JBL's inhibitor turret.
Look at these 2 tanks not giving a care in the world as to what tower damage they're taking. Let's go ahead and check out this replay here. So TIP actually trying to get some form of engage onto them, but Enchanted Crystal Arrow, that was very crucial actually, did not connect onto anybody, and it just gave JBL enough tools. See, as you can see, Farmville and Actual, because of that Enchanted Crystal not connecting, they were able to respond in time, and it was just a counter. JBL reversing everything, TIP forced to fall back, and it just went so bad.
Yeah, it went south really quickly for TIP, because one, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow was no longer there.
Exactly.
Which meant that there was a signal for JBL that, oh, hey, we can engage. And then the explosive cask went onto Demigod and to Shy.
Exactly.
Which means that the frontliners just became near to the front.
And what's tricky is that if you notice, Akasha actually continues to get caught out.
Yes.
That instead of actually using the ultimate to support his teammates, for most of probably like 60 to 70% of the time, we've seen him use it on himself just for that self-protection because he's basically almost the first one to go. Not necessarily because he's the squishiest, but it's because of the positioning that he's always in, where JBL could easily target him.
And that means that the value for that Lulu is not there. Shy might be caught out here. Flashes the charm, but look at his health, still going strong. And that's a lot of resources against him. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow plus his Spirit Rush as well, which leaves JBL a little more open to push this bot lane, because no Spirit Rush means that it's way easier for G's to get to these turrets.
Indeed. Here we go, JBL knocking on this turret right here, and it's going to be very tricky indeed. I don't think TIP can withstand this either. They, at best, especially with Enchanted Crystal Arrow down right now, they could only just flee back for now.
Oh, that's going to be an engage here. Look at the damage against Tarya. And the team is split apart, but Shy, it just leaves Shy open to continue being a huge titan there in the middle of the fight. Farmville doing a lot of work here. Demigod blocking out so much damage. And Meow gets killed by G's under the fountain. And that's going to be game 1 of match 2 for day 2, the LCL Interconference Series, taken away by John B. Lacson, Maritime University Maroon Dragons.
Wow. Very well played indeed by JBL right there. I mean, what's interesting is that going into this, there was a lot of eyes on both TIP and UPLB that JBL actually, with the surprise, again, this just goes to show how from one split you could be at the top, and at the next you could find yourself in this awkward situation where you're just struggling to find your footing, and JBL just coming in so much stronger right now. I'm just
very clean game from them.
Indeed, actually.
And I think that because of the roster changes this split, this term for TIP, it really hurt them a lot. Of course,
Definitely.
Doe is a very good mid laner, but has to fill huge shoes with Janine being gone.
Yeah, there's
and their
definitely
Hanzo being gone means that their shot calling isn't there as well. So going into this, TIP and UPLB both were the teams being eyed for this group. And it seems like UPLB is going to be one leading the charge here. But JBL, a contender, this game was very clean from them. And having that defend the AD carry, they worked really well with that. Plus, they have that supplementary damage coming from Farmville.
Yeah, and there we go. As the story tells, it's the battle of the AD carries at this point. Both sides, both AD carries exerting the most amount of damage, but as far as the compositions, at the end of the day, JBL executed so much better, and I'm a big fan. I feel like the Karma, them being able to secure the Karma was such a huge deal breaker as to kind of denying TIP what they were kind of going for, because JBL was able to take all those key champions to make that work for them.
Even with the first pick Lulu, it was all on JBL because they just denied Akasha's chances to actually make value from that Enchanter support. So really very well played by JBL.
So yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see how this goes. TIP definitely has a lot of work ahead for them if they want to try to get back into this game. So for the meantime, ladies and gents, that has been our game. Congratulations, of course, to JBL, but we still have one more match in this best of 2 between these two teams, so we'll just have to see who emerges on top in the next game.
And of course, we have been your shoutcasters. I'm Atlas, and with me was Arctic. We'll see you after the break for a second game. Now, that's going to be a Meow to focus here. Lots of CC onto him. Now it's Akasha. Look at that damage coming from the try and get back in the game. It's going to be another team fight here. 5v5 already. That's going to be Akasha and the Meow taking down plus Arya as well. So they're still going for this dive. Akasha gets called down here. Now it's Rumble. It's going to be a very low mobility carry, but has to flash here. Look at the damage against Arya. And the team is split apart, but Shy, it just leaves Shy open to continue being a huge titan there in the middle of the fight. Farmville doing a lot of work here. Demigod blocking out so much damage. And Meow gets killed by G's under the fountain. And that's going to be game 1 of match 2 for day 2 of LCL Interconference Series, taken away by John B. Lacson, Maritime University Maroon Dragons.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.